My name's Lindsay Lorraine, and I'm from Parker, Colorado. I am the founder of EZPZ, and today I am seeking $1 million for a 5% stake in my company.
Wow.
Hear me out, hear me out. Hear me out.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. Sharks, who has recently had or witnessed mealtime with a toddler? In our case, 3 toddlers. Let's take a look at what mealtime used to look like at our house.
Oh, your kids are slobs.
My husband and I knew there had to be a better way, so we created it. The Happy Mat is an all-in-one silicone placemat and plates. But the best part is, the mat suctions to the surface. There is truly nothing like EZPZ on the market. We are revolutionizing the feeding industry throughout the world. Let's take a look at what mealtime looks like now.
Are these the same kids?
Very good.
Lindsay, we got to go right to the sales.
Gotta go right to the numbers.
No.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on. They gotta get. Yeah, you're right. They do need a sample. I feel like we had this. I feel like we had this at the house like 6 years ago when our daughter was born, and we used it quite a bit. I'm not sure where they are now, or if it was even the same thing. I'm not 100% sure, but. Yeah, $1 million for 5%. So that is an awful lot of silicone bowls that need to be sold to recoup any kind of money for an investor. But really interesting idea. I think having 2 kids, and I think for the most part it wasn't that messy. It hasn't been that messy. Like sometimes Dom will do something that's like absent-minded and like, oh, why did you drop this on the floor? I don't know. Like, okay, well, let's not keep doing that. We don't do got to learn from what we're doing. So I don't know, to me, maybe I'm just forgetful of the years earlier, but I having 3 kids at once, it looks like they were all triplets. That's rough. I mean, I have a couple of friends that have triplets, a couple of friends that have twins. While I don't have twins or triplets, my kids were 2 years apart. So, there was a good chunk of time where, having to deal with these types of messes to get back to back. But having the bowl, I think, it's a good starting point. I mean, that doesn't mean the spoon won't get dropped or fork won't get dropped or anything like that. But or just pick up the food itself and just drop it on the floor. It's science experiment time. Anyway, we're going to feature Lindsay's website at the end of this to check in what she's going on with social media and all, as well as feature one of your comments from the super community down below here on the channel. So stick around to the end.
Oh, come on. $3 million.
Okay, and as I said, you can stack and serve everybody at the same time.
It's so cute.
Oh, it's very cute.
And the smiley face design
How nice is that?
really does create a positive feeding experience. Blue,
What's
your
the
favorite
little
color.
eyeball in there?
I'm just curious what you
Yes.
sell one mat for.
So one mat retails for $24.99. Our wholesale price is $12.50, and then we have a 50% margin with that.
So you make it for about $6?
Yes, a little bit around that.
So, Lindsay, you've imputed a value, 1,005%, so you're telling me this business is worth $20 million.
Let's go to the numbers now.
Sales are very strong.
Tell
and
us what they are.
I'll be honest, I wanted to do 5 times that valuation.
5 times?
With it, in this calendar year, what are you going to sell?
Wow.
So we've done 85,000 units this year at 1.2 million gross sales.
That's it?
Yep. So we
So I'm
actually...
going to pay 16 times sales for a rubber mat with a face on it?
Are you expecting to do 30 this year or something?
Yeah, way more than 30. So last week, we were in Germany at the world's largest baby show. We met with 400 international distributors. We were the hit of the show. So we've gotten 400 contacts, every country. Australia.
Orders?
Yeah, so we sold, not on the spot. I mean, Australia has said they'll take a container. They would do a 40-foot container every month.
Wow.
Do you have a patent?
We have 5 long IP portfolio. So we filed a utility patent.
Filed.
We have a design patent, so we're patent pending.
Design patent, your patent
So
pending.
let's assume you're successful and you achieve full
Yeah, we
patent.
have to assume you're going to get patent.
Let's assume
Okay.
that.
And I
It
can talk
doesn't
about the
mean that
other-
We
somebody...
shouldn't assume that.
No,
No.
And-
Why
you
would
shouldn't assume that.
But let's
No,
say, I'm
okay.
trying to be the upside case.
How much money did you make on the 1.2 million in sales?
So we've netted approximately 14%.
You made
Yeah, that's okay. So that's tough, right? Now look, all the promises in the world don't mean anything till the money's sitting in the bank, right? That's where having that many contacts, being the hit of the show. I'm kind of curious as to when Lindsay actually started it, because it's was it just this year? And all of a sudden, it's just because that's explosive. Like getting that many contacts out at one show is that's ding worthy. But you have to assume that only 1 or 2% of the 400 is going to actually come to fruition. 4 to 8 of those contacts are actually going to follow through, are actually going to be in a position to place an order, right, and make it happen. So, and maybe it ends up being 5 or 10%. Like that would be absolutely awesome, right? You get 40 customers that all want a container load each month. Like all of a sudden, overnight you just went bam, like right to the moon. But that's not necessarily the case, right? Like you gotta have the expectation is 1 to 2% of all those people that you meet are going to actually drive it forward and move the business, move sales for you. And even once they do that, they're going to have to sell it themselves, right? So if it doesn't sell on their end, then it's a problem. Now, I think the price point is great. She scaled up the cost to the wholesale to the to the final cost price fine, especially if she can sell direct through her website, which we're going to check at the end. But yeah, I mean, that's 83,000 units is definitely a lot of units. But the sales, lifetime sales, and then 14% of that is not bad for her, but not going to be great for an investor to want to be invested into.
$140,000. That was your earnings.
Yeah.
How do you get to 20 million?
So we did literally 5 years. I did net present value, 4 times earnings with a 45% discount.
You're just so I'm clear, you took what you think you're going to earn in the next 5 years, totaled that up, and got to 20 million today.
Yes. Well,
Do you see a problem in that?
I honestly don't, because there's so much opportunity. And I'll be honest. So when we were in Germany last week, I met with 4 different CEOs from massive companies, and 2 have since sent messages about acquiring us.
Then why are you here? Trying to be kind before I absolutely eviscerate you.
The baby market, we're actually doing phenomenal. We're in Nordstrom. We're sold on Amazon. Bye Bye Baby.
Are you in all Bye Bye Baby stores?
So we are waiting to enter Bye Bye Baby.
So you're not in Bye Bye Baby?
No, but we met with them, and then we're in about 200 boutiques throughout the country. Our valuation in 5 years will be at 2,000 stores.
No, but hang on,
But
Lindsay.
how many do you
expect
sell
that.
in each boutique?
So the valuation is, on average, we have 500 mats per year per boutique.
So next year, the best case is 5 million in sales, you think?
I personally think we'll do 10 million in sales next year.
So from all this...
So, okay, so that's, I mean, look, you got to set the goal somewhere, right? And I don't doubt that Lindsay can get there, in the sense that, because it's kind of a shame. They kind of like skirted around, and we're watching a, cut down version, obviously, of what her in there, but like, what's her background? What has she done? Like, obviously, she's done something right to get to where she's at right now in this time. And now this is season 7, episode 13. So she's done stuff right to get to this point. And I feel like they, are just really gutting into like, yeah, like we're not going to pay $1 million for 5%. But I'm also kind of guessing that Lindsay's not really going to be flexible on the percentage either, considering the fact that she wanted to like make it a much higher percentage. But yeah, I mean, $1 million, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. The millionaires and billionaires, a lot of money to be asking, and to only get 5%. You know, they're gonna have to be acquired for a ton of money for them to get any kind of real return out of what is still, you know, doing great for Lindsay, but not necessarily a great opportunity for investors to get their capital out. So yeah, definitely really tough. But I do feel like they're being pretty rough on her here.
You've created 1.2 million in sales. You're going to make 140,000 before you pay yourself. You're optimistic that next year's 10 million, right?
Yep.
After that,
When you look
20?
at Australia, this is one example of hundreds of countries we met. You know, a container is $50,000, $100,000 order. They said they would be ordering a container
Who
every month.
said that?
Oh, distributors.
Did they give you an order?
Yeah.
You don't even know if it's sold
Oh,
through.
yeah. Yes.
You haven't even shipped the first order straight. I love the optimism.
Yeah.
But you don't have any data. You come in here asking for a $20 million valuation. You know we're going to be skeptical.
Yep. We're in Canada. We're in South Korea.
Look,
We're in.
You're all over the map. I like to build a solid business on a solid foundation. When you ask for 20 million, you better have solid data, not a story. I'm out.
I mean, is that supposed to be a pun there, Robert? You're being all over the map. Clearly, she is of the mindset that she's going to get these orders, and I don't see why she shouldn't. That $1,250 a mat, like that. I mean, that's not terrible. Now in Australia, it's going to be like double that price. So now we're talking like $50 or you know, whatever the exchange rate is. You know, they'll be paying like $50 for a mat. You know, depending on where the exchange rate was at the time. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. This is actually like really bordering uncomfortable territory, and it's kind of a shame that like Robert was leading the charge on it.
To me, it's like Sharkonomics 101. If you come in with too high a valuation, you've got a problem.
Yep.
And, you know, the enthusiasm for it, I get it, but I see a huge concern with the patent, a huge concern with it being very early on. And so, for that reason, I'm out.
the risk is all on me as the investor. I try and translate your optimism and your IP, which hasn't cleared yet. All of these things are unknowns. On the other hand, $1 million is a lot for 5%. So here's a deal that I'll make you. I'll give you the $1 million for 5%. If you don't hit 10 million next year in sales, I get 20%.
You're throwing all the risk back on her.
Lindsay, you were like perfect for this Shark Tank thing, man. The faces, I love when people have different facial expressions and stuff, and you're made for it. You're made for it. That's awesome.
In order to insure against Lindsay's optimistic sales projections.
Now, with that said, like she, like 10 million in sales, like that's not a terrible deal. Putting it, 20% is a lot, but if she owns 100% and you get 20%, like Kevin doesn't have to offer that. I actually think that's not a terrible offer. I mean, do I think that she can get to 10 million in 1 year? I mean, it's not impossible as long as, you're also putting the onus on your manufacturer to make sure that they can supply that level as well. I mean, they haven't even gone into that, because now we're talking about a lot of units that got to get turned out here. And I think it's interesting that the Sharks, even in season 7, just seem to assume that, she would get a patent for it. And that's like not necessarily the case, right? Or 5 patents, 5 utility patents at that. It's not the case. So you have it in your hands. You don't have it. It's just patent pending. You can't go after, anybody that knocks off this product or already has, a product similar. Like you can't do anything about it. I do, by the way, since we're here, I do love the packaging. I think it's a really smart packaging. So like, again, I feel like they've kind of shortchanged her in like where did all this come from, right? Where did the money come from to get the molds, made up and to get the manufacturer going and to go to Germany to do and all that. And it's like, and they also kind of shortchanged in the story. Like, how long is she? Where did she come up with this idea? How long did it take for her? Or did she not come up with the idea and she's just licensing it from somebody else and didn't have to, or not even licensing, but just buying it wholesale from somebody else and then repackaging it and selling it herself? There's definitely some questions that I have there as well.
I'll give you the $1 million for 5%. If you don't hit 10 million next year in sales, I get 20%.
You're throwing all the risk back on her.
Because I think the business today is worth $5 million if your patent clears. Because I don't know how to value this business.
I appreciate, I'm humbled.
But you told me you're very optimistic, so I got to buy into it, right?
I mean, if you could go and see the response. I mean, we were at the world's
No, Lindsay, don't go there. Don't go there.
You're talking in circles now.
Mark, what are you doing?
I'm not going to do a deal with you no matter what because I would go nuts.
You're giving us a price today on what the business will be worth 4 or 5 years out. But I'll give you the $1 million, but I want to pay it over 4 years, $250 a year.
Okay.
And you're happy with
on
the
that.
5%?
Yes, I am happy with the 5% because I totally believe in her. I think you have got a runaway product, but I think you're your own worst enemy because of your optimism. I think you need a heavyweight, seasoned person who has built businesses.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm going to do is throw $1 million at you. I think what I have to work into the deal are 2 contingencies. I think one, I have to know that you get the patent. Secondly, I think we have to establish the benchmarks you cited over, I'm happy to pay out the money over 4 years. Over the 4 years, you hit those targets.
And so I appreciate that offer.
My concerns are this. I'm going to help you with the legals, assuming this patent actually gets issued, because this is going to get knocked off, and I will protect it. Number 2, I will make this famous online. There's no question about that. I don't think you've really maximized that, so my focus in the short term would be to actually work hard that you did hit the 10 and I only stayed at 5. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd rather you made it, because I think the chance of this being acquired is high.
And I'm thinking about changing my offer.
So that the protection that Kevin definitely would bring is great, assuming that the patent comes through. And it wasn't even contingent on the patent. It was just contingent on let's make some sales, right? Didn't add a royalty to it. I think Barbara's offer is contingent on the patent. Doesn't know, you don't know if that's going to actually come through. You hope that it's going to come through, but it could take years. Just talking to a past Shark Tank entrepreneur that's been waiting over 3 years for their patent to come through. So it could take a long time for this kind of stuff to play out. And if the optimism is great, but I think Kevin's offer is, I think that's really good. But I think you're ultimately going to end up giving up 20%. Now, with that said, the length in which it takes for these deals to get done is quite long. Sometimes it's more than a year. So if that's the case, when does that 10 million in sales? Like, she might actually have close to 2 years to accomplish that. Or it falls through altogether. But I think protection is the I think that's it. But I don't know. I mean, he really is. The problem with 5% is he's not super incentivized to like go and protect it, right? Like it's actually kind of works in the opposite. I feel like a royalty deal might actually have been the better option there.
I'm sitting here. I have to be honest.
Yeah,
I have a very
See,
generous
this is what
rate
happens,
today.
Lindsay. You had 2 offers. You're letting him go.
Well, no, and I honestly,
Make a decision. Stop selling.
Okay, I think the decision is, I think I'm going to move on.
You're turning down the
Turning down
offers?
both offers.
We're sad the way this was portrayed because our sales are strong and we have all those relationships, and I feel...
But Lindsay, he gave you what you were asking for. He gave you the $1 million for the same equity based on what you said. The words that came out of your mouth.
Absolutely, but it's based on contingencies of selling.
But it's
But
what
there
you
should be no
said.
risk there. You should
But
that
you
should be a
said
slam
it.
dunk.
And
Why did you say it if you didn't mean it?
I want to draw a parallel between you and I, because I
Yeah.
was in your shoes with
Yep.
wild enthusiasm, wanting to be the queen of New York real estate when I was 22 years old.
Yep.
What was so important in my journey to make it wasn't my optimism, which I had in spades, but it was this self-doubt and the insecurity that I felt all along the way that made me pause and think, oh my God, I better be careful. Can I do it? How will I make it? Who do I use? Who do I trust? My judgment card built my business. You're a wild-ass, enthusiastic entrepreneur, very capable, you've got a great product. All that's fine, but you're missing the self-doubt card.
I'm sorry. Like I said, culturally, I'm trying to build a company that is the right fit for everybody. So I'm thinking maybe this isn't the right fit. So I will pass.
Good luck
Yeah,
to you, Lindsay.
Good luck, Lindsay.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad that we didn't do a deal because it didn't feel right. So if I would change anything, it would be... I don't even know if I would change anything because I believe that's the right valuation.
Barbara, I think that was the best advice you've ever given. She's wildly optimistic.
Yep.
But great entrepreneurs live in paranoia.
She's just blinded by the light.
Yeah, I mean, that's... well, let's see how she's doing today. Seems like she's got a whole lot of product going on here. We got spoons and cups and mini bowls. We got a tiny placemat, which is new. I guess that seems like an obvious thing that shouldn't be new. It should have been a long time ago. Oral development tools. Let's see, cleaning bundle. Like there's a ton of products going on here, which is great to see. Featured all over the place. You got a video down here. I can't see it because right here from our founder. So Lindsay's down there in the corner with the video. That's a neat touch that these, I guess these are all Shopify sites have added. So $22.49 for a mini mat. You got the mini cup and straw. So it's pretty neat. Infants, toddlers, little kids. So I guess my question is are they microwave safe? Are they like boiling safe? Are they dishwasher safe? Like what's that's something that I don't think I'm seeing here. Yeah, a blog, which is nice. Mealtime inspiration. So Instagram. So we'll check out Instagram in a second here. But yeah, I don't see where's like some of the benefits of the product as far as like, is it increased portion size? Why we're different? We make feeding safe, suction features, new taste milestones. So I wonder if the patent never came through. Lindsay, I would love to have you come on the show. Drop a comment down below. 239,000 followers. With there's quite a bit of engagement here on some of the posts. It's interesting. Somebody cleaning the product. It's funny because I was just talking about like how do you go about cleaning? Does it have to be hand washed or can you put it in the dishwasher? And it's got 234 likes. Let's see, 5 comments. Awesome collection. I don't know that plate. Is it a new one? It might be a lid. It's the mini mat lid. Spoons. That's cool. 780 likes on that post. That's crazy. And you got pictures of kids using the products. I always, say I love seeing faces. We got pictures of, kids right here on the site as well. Over on Facebook, 70,000 people liked the page. Not as much engagement, but that's generally to be expected from everything we've seen here on the channel. EZPZ over on Pinterest has 6,600 followers, and they've been posting quite a bit, quite a few pins. Thanksgiving food and recipes, I guess for kids. So that's saved versus created. So these are the created pieces, but they don't show likes and things like that here. Twitter, 4,400 followers over on Twitter, and then Vimeo. They got some of their videos there, including the pitch from Shark Tank, made on Shark Tank, which is great to see. So yeah, Lindsay, I'd love to have you on the show. Just drop a comment down below. Like Old Farm Show gives this video, previous video, 2 thumbs up. I would, love to have you here. Just drop a comment. We'll make it happen. Now, if not, an Old Farm Show, great content, by the way. Great, awesome videos. Really cool seeing old tractors. Anyway, go check out one of these videos. I'll see you over there. Take care and go be super.